Hello, everyone. We're so grateful that you decided to join our CIC's Pause and Ponder. My name is Xavier. I'm the youth and young adults pastors. Today, we're going to be reading from Genesis out of our 1 year Bible reading, Genesis starting verse 7 through 9. And it says it, and it came about after this event that his master's wife looked with desire at Joseph, and she said, lie with me. But he refused and said to his master's wife, behold, with me here, my master does not concern himself with anything in the house, and he has put all that he owns in my charge. There is no one greater in this house than I, and he has withheld nothing from me except you, because you are his wife. How then could I do this great evil and sin against God? I It's so crazy because Joseph is here in the land that is not his own. His brothers betrayed him. His brothers sold him as a slave. He's in a different land. He was disregarded. He was taught as dead. And here in this land, and he could have disregarded everything he was taught as a Hebrew boy. He could have forgotten everything about it, but he remained close to God. If you read throughout Joseph's stories in Genesis, this phrase keeps coming up again and again. It says, the Lord what with Joseph. When Joseph could have disregarded everything, he remained close to God. Can the same thing be said about you and me? I know I have fallen short. When things have gone crazy and frustration has happened, I have relied on my own strength, on my own plans, on my own desires, and not turn to God. But here's Joseph. The odds are stacked against him, and he still is close with him. Now he's blessing his master's house in this Egypt, and he's blessing his master's house. He is the perfect guy. He's walking in obedience. He's creating blessings for those around him, and his master's wife has an eye on him because he's good looking. He's the package, and he says no. And what I love about this passage, besides him resisting her consistently, he says this. He says this in verse 9. How then could I do this great evil and sin against God? Joseph knew that it wasn't just his job on the line. He knew that it wasn't just his respect for his master on the line, but he knew that it was about God. He knew that if he did such a thing, he was going to sin against God. He could have disregarded everything that he was taught. He could have forgotten everything because of all the hard circumstances that he had gone through, but he remained close to God. I don't know who's watching right now. I don't know if you've been like me, you mess up, you sin, but can I encourage you today? You can turn to Jesus. You can make a decision for Jesus, because just as Joseph, despite he removes all the whatever excuses we may have, he removes them. This is a guy that has gone through everything, and here he is still walking because he trusted in God. You and I, regardless of what circumstances you have gone through or are going through, you can still turn to Jesus, and he can make something wonderful out of your life, just as you will see that God does in Joseph's life. You can trust in him. So remember, lean into him and accept Jesus as your Lord.